In PostStudio Manager, on the left-hand side, you have the student list. You have the list here, which is our member list. And then for each student, you have their profile. All of the profile information listed here, these fields, what's required, as well as what fields you want them to fill out, and what you see in the member list is completely customizable. To customize their profile and member list, you'd go to Settings, Global Settings, and then in our global settings, we're going to scroll down to where it says Members. You can change the label of the primary phone. You can change the label of the secondary phone as well as third. You can also set a note for what the labels are supposed to be to help fill in that information. You can label state, zip, supervisor, and instructors, or if there's a specific staff member you want assigned to this profile, you can turn that on or off. You can enable how did you hear about us to collect that data. You can have a second email turned on, a company turned on. If you enable nickname, nickname gives you the opportunity to call your student by their nickname instead of their first name, both on a class roster and as well as using the literal for their preferred name in messaging. If you have more than one location, you can enable a primary location to be selected and have it be required or not. As I was saying with the nickname, you can have the display of nickname instead of first name on rosters by clicking yes here. You can have class level enabled, listing their class. If you want their second phone number that you created up here listed, you would say yes to phone 2. For me, I use that as my emergency contact. If you want a third phone number, you could also click yes to that. Enable country if you are going to be working in multiple countries, and a default value. If they have more than one phone listed, let's say you did all 3 phone numbers, if you turn on primary phone select enabler, it will list all 3 and ask them which one they would prefer you call. You can have the same referrer for multiple different students. And then we have the ability to do some custom text labels if there's something that you need to see that doesn't exist as a field. To set these up, do make an appointment to talk with us to figure out which one is the best for you. But this gives you the ability to customize. You can upload a member's photo, the size of the photo. You can choose to display the purchases by category tab on their photo. You can also have specific categories intentionally left out. If you want to have non-binary gender options, you would select yes for this. And so when the students are selecting their gender, they would be able to choose the option that best represents them. Save encrypted password. This means that the system will save whatever password they have typed into the system. Why does this matter? If you have a student, which you will, forget their password, you can then send them their password via PostStudio Manager and the literal to show password, rather than sending them a link to reset their password. So that is all the different settings you can use to customize the profile information. Then we have the member list. The member list is what we see when I click my student tab. What is up here? What is the most relevant information? So to change that, I'm going to go to Settings, Global Settings, and I'm going to scroll down to Member List. So for me, I want to see, I don't need their photo, I don't need their ID, I don't need their guardian and their kids, but I do want their nickname. I don't need their address, but I do want their primary phone number. I want their email, and I can choose all of this. You can choose a registration date or just the year. You can choose to show balance. Show icons are the system icons that are if they owe you money, if they haven't signed waivers. Then you also have the show icons for categories. This is for member categories. So if you've created member categories, do you want those icons showing? I say yes, enthusiastically there. You can choose to show class level, primary location. If you only have one location, turn that off. If you want the supervisor or instructor associated with that account, you can show that. If you want to see how many private lessons are remaining, you can turn that on, or when their last lesson date is or their next date is, their call history or their last call date. All of these things you can customize. And then once you save, they will show up on your Students tab.